gonna smack you again. Throw it again.
It's enough. It's enough.
Hard.
Nah, your fucking cuts are opening and everything. What are you trying to prove? What does it prove?
Raging Bull is a shockingly brutal and uncompromising piece of work. I've never seen anything like it. Martin Scorsese offers us such a savage view of the boxing world. It's a place where violence is not only accepted, but also celebrated. Robert Deniro's character of Jake LaMotta lives a life of violence. It's as simple as that. His world is taking pain or dishing it out. And as the movie progresses, we realise that sadly his violence is not just limited to the ring. He's abusive to the people around him, including his wife and his brother, and he struggles with insecurity and jealousy. And his boxing lifestyle has given him no scope to address these emotional issues. Raging Bull was kind of ambitious for the time, as it was willing to show us how a certain kind of masculinity, which would probably be labelled toxic masculinity today, can lead to self-destructive behaviour.
You understand, you fucking wacko? You're cracking up.
You're very smart, Joey. You give me all these answers, but you ain't give me the right answer.
Jake LaMotta is a character who proves the idea of just being tough and strong as a man is not the answer. Care and empathy are incredibly important, and Raging Bull is all about self-discovery and re-evaluating your actions on a deep level. Over the course of the movie, Jake comes to terms with his own flaws and tries to make amends for his past mistakes. Ultimately, I think the point Scorsese is trying to get across is that the most masculine thing you can ever do is admit when you are wrong. It's a powerful message that makes the film stand out from the rest of Scorsese's work. His characters in Goodfellas and other crime films, for example, never really learn a lesson, but Raging Bull shows us that even the most flawed and damaged individuals have at least some potential to find redemption and make a positive change in their lives. Scorsese made an interesting choice to deliver the film in black and white. It becomes clear very quickly that this aesthetic isn't just a stylistic choice, it really does reflect the dark realities of Jake's life. The grainy texture adds a layer of grit, and the world Scorsese creates feels so raw and unfiltered. I think black and white can capture the emptiness of life, but also the humanity in moments. The facial expressions and the gestures can be heightened by black and white, and Raging Bull shows that perfectly. I don't think this film would have been as good as it is, as jarring as it is, if it wasn't black and white. The boxing scenes in the film are some of the most realistic and violent ever captured. Robert Deniro actually trained for months to perfect boxing technique, and it really shows. These moments are incredibly realistic. Fight scenes are so intimate, and it just feels very overwhelming. We're just wincing at every punch Jake takes. It's heavy stuff, incredibly brutal, and we feel like we are right there in the ring. The editing and sound design work together so well too. The use of slow motion heightens the drama. Through the fight we can hear everything so intensely, the crowd, the punches, and then the uncompromising silence in between. The historic real life rivalry between Jake and Sugar Ray Robinson is of course in Raging Bull. The crazy fight where Sugar Ray destroys Jake is clearly a metaphor for his internal struggle. It's like Jake is fighting against himself, and his disaster zone of a life is just punching him in the face over and over. The frantic editing creates such a visceral and unpredictable feel, and it takes you back to the crazy days of boxing's past. We don't get fights like this anymore. This is mental. That moment when Jake just stands there simply waiting is haunting. It's one of De Niro's best facial expressions ever. Jake's pride ends up being his own worst enemy. His refusal to go down almost kills him, and his words to Sugar Ray afterwards are chilling.
Never went down, Ray. You never got me down, Ray.
From the very first scene, De Niro's performance is captivating. This is still one of his best roles of all time. He completely transforms himself into the character, and his physical change for the part was remarkable, as the actor gained over 50 pounds to play Jake when he is older. De Niro's portrayal is raw and intense. He conveys Jake's inner turmoil and self-destructive tendencies with incredible nuance. Despite his terrible actions, we have sympathy for Jake. De Niro is so good and has made a career out of forcing us to empathise with bad people. Just the way De Niro communicates through regretful expressions and clear emotional trauma. Once again, Scorsese is allowing us to think outside the box and realise that people are not black and white. One of the best scenes for this is in fact the ending, when Jake is sat in front of the mirror reciting the famous Marlon Brando monologue from the movie On the Waterfront. He is staring at himself now past his prime, still emotionally chained to his boxing past, and then he stands up and throws punches. It's a moment of both melancholy but also relief. Jake is perhaps not the tough guy he once was, but he has made it out the other side, and although his life is less grand now, it's much less dangerous now, and he at least has lived through it to arrive at a place of self-awareness.
Go get him, champ.